Om Namo Venkatesaya. Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavathanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashanteye Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahmanideye Vasishtaya Namo Namaha. Tismarana Matrena Janma Samsara Bandhanat Vimuchate Namastasmi Vishnave Prabha Vishnave Lakshmi Nata Samarambam Nate Amana Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Partaya Pradibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandatami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om Namo Venkatesaya. My pranams everybody. So we have been recapitulating the chapters up to the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So yesterday we covered up to the chapter 7, which is the Jnana Vijnana Yoga. So at the end of the Jnana Vijnana Yoga, Bhagavan uses certain technical terms, Adi Bhutam, Adi Devam, and then Adi Yajnam. So in the beginning of this 8th chapter, which is the Akshara Brahma Yoga, Arjuna asked these questions. What is Adi Yajna? What is Adi Bhuta? What is Adi Yajna? And then what is and then Adi Yajnam is the person who is as the Antaryami residing in all of us. So then again Bhagavan says, Antakalecha Mameva Smaran Muktva Kalevaram Yaprayati Samadbhavam Yati Nastyatir Samchaya. So at the time of leaving this body, whosoever thinks of me ultimately reaches me only, and there is no doubt about that. Again, Bhagavan in the subsequent slokas also says that whosoever thinks of anything at the time of leaving this body, they reach that whatever objects or that whatever is that the person is thinking at the last time, the last moment of his life. And therefore, in order to reach me, you should always Tasmat Sarvashu Kaleshu Ma Manuswara Yudyasya. That means always think about me only. So that's what Bhagavan says. Then he talks about different ways by which different people reach. Some people meditate upon the Omkara Akshara and then they reach me. Some people keep their pranas in the middle of this eyebrow, and then finally leave this body. So different ways of, this, leaving this body, ultimately they reach me. Then also he talked about the two different paths by which the yogis leave this. One is through called this Archiradi Marga. The other is the Dhumadi Marga. Archiradi Marga is where a person at the time of this Uttarayana, then the Shukla Paksham, during the daytime, so the person lives, then he is led by the light, and then finally reaches the abode of Brahman. The Dhumadi Margam, finally the person goes through different Loka, Chandra Loka, and then this Indra Loka and all those things. Finally, the difference between the two paths is in the case of the Dhumadi Marga, the person comes back into this samsara chakra again. Whereas the person who reaches the path of Archiradi Marga, he never comes back into this world. So that is, he's ultimately reaching my abode, and therefore there is no question of he coming to this universe at all. So that is what is being talked of in the 8th chapter. Then he moves on to the 9th chapter, which is the Raja Yoga, Raja Gukya Yogam. Raja Yoga is the king of the Vidyas, as well as the most secret knowledge. Since you don't have any jealousy towards anybody, and therefore I'm going to give this. Idam te Gukyatamam Pravakshami Anasuyave Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam Yajnatva Mokshase Ashubhate. Having known this knowledge, will be completely relieved from all these, this evils of this universe. So that's what Bhagavan talks about. Then, this Raja Vidya, Raja Gukyam, Pavitram Idamuttamam, Pravakshamagam Dharmyam, Susukam Kartumam. That means he says even the direct perception of this knowledge itself will give you the happiness. Not even ultimately reaching the abode, but even during the process itself, you will get happiness. And then it is this path is the actions that are being performed are everlasting and they don't decay. That's what Bhagavan says. Then he moves on to the his nature, that is Bhagavan's nature. He says, people who know me, Maya tadamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina matstani sarvabhutani nachaham tesh avastitah. My unmanifested form, that is that this Nirguna Brahman is what is sustaining this universe. I am pervading this entire universe, having created in them, and everything resides in me, but I don't reside in them. That's what the famous sloka, Natvaham Teshu Temai. That means they reside in me, but I don't reside in them. meaning that they are dependent on me, I am not dependent on them for my existence. That is the implication of this statement. Subsequently, he even goes to the saying they don't even reside in me. So there are two ways of interpreting, saying that if this loka itself is maya, then it doesn't even exist. If the world doesn't even exist, then it doesn't exist in me. That's one way of interpreting. The other way of interpreting is Bhagavan says that they don't physically reside in me like, water in a jet. By my own yogic powers, I sustain them. Like all these various planets are being sustained in this universe with different forces, and there is no collision or nothing taking place, and therefore by yoga maya only they are being sustained in them, and therefore in that sense they don't physically reside in me. That's what he was trying to say. Then, like this the air is residing in that akasha, in that sense, that if the air doesn't touch the akasha as such, but it is being sustained by the akasha as such. So again, he talked about all this entire creation. Ultimately, they come from me, and then ultimately they get back into me. But by doing all these actions, I am never, I don't get attached to these actions at all. I'm detached from all these various actions. That's what he said. But then he said that all these people, the people who are in tamasic mode, the mudas, the people, unwise people, don't they think me that I am contained in this 8 feet or 7 feet body of mine, but they don't realize that I'm something beyond that. That's what he talked about. But my bhaktas, that is the people, that's where now the whole apart from talking about his greatness, Bhagavan is talking about the bhakti yoga in this also. In chapter 9 is also a portion of bhakti yoga. So all these people, they are completely mahatmanastu mam partham devim prakritim ashritaha bhajanti ananya manasah nyatva bhutadi mavyam. So they know me as the immutable, and then they are I am the person who is completely supporting this entire universe. They know all these things, and therefore they start completely thinking about me, and they supported by the divine nature. That's what Bhagavan says. Then satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasite. That means always thinking about me, chanting about me. Kirtayantaha, they are chanting the Bhagavan nama. They always with the firm resolve, dridhavrataha. They also prostrate before me with love and affection, and they mentally ever reside in me and then worship me. So some people take to the jnana marga path. Jnana yajnena chapyanye yajanto mam upasite ekatvena pratitvena bahuda vishwato mukam. That means they see me as the one person, but he's being seeing me in many forms. So that's what they are saying, vishwato mukam. So they see me as the one unifying factor in this whole universe, even though they see multiple things. Then he said, I am the yajna, I am the person who is the oblations is also me. Then this aushadam, that means the healing herb, is also me. Everything is me. The butter, the ghee, everything that is being offered is into me. I am the grandfather, I am the father, I am the mother, I am the supporter. All those things is only me. So I am the Omkara Swarupam, taken from the Rig, Yajur, Sama. The three the Vedas are contained in this Sama, in this Omkara Pranavaksharam. Know me to be that Pranavaksharam. So I am the goal, I am the sustainer, I am the master, I am the witness, I am the abode, I am the refuge. All those things are ultimately me. So I am the person who is giving the rain, I am the person who is giving the heat. And some people who just take to this karma kanda portion of the Vedas, they perform the various yagas, yajnas, and then ultimately reach this various Indraloka and so on. But then ultimately they come back to this world. Chine punye matyalokam vishanti. After that, these punyas are exhausted, they again come back to this world. So that is what the people who just follow the karma kanda of the Vedas. Then the famous sloka, ananyas chintayantomam ejana paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogachemam vaham. That means a person who is ever thinking about me and nothing else, anya chinta, he doesn't have any other thought other than me, and worship me. For that person, I take care of his yogachem. Yoga means getting united with whatever things that is required for him in this world, and also protect whatever I give it to him. That's what it is. Some people worship the other gods also. They are also ultimately worshipping me, but in a wrong way. That's what he said. So I am the for all these various yaga yajnas, I am the enjoyer, Bhoktacha, Prabhurecha. I am the master of these various yaga yajnas. And whosoever worship devatas, they go to the devata lokas. The people who worship the pitrus, they go to the pitru lokas. People who worship the ghosts and then the pisachas, they go to that loka. And my mad bhakta, that is my people who worship me, ultimately reach me. Then Bhagavan gave a very easy way of worshipping. He says, Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prechati Tadaham Bhakti Patam Asnami Pretatman. So whatever a person offers, a flower or a fruit or a this leaf, tulasi leaf, or even if nothing is there, even a drop of water, Yome Bhaktya. So whatever person that offers me with love and affection, I completely accept it because it is being offered with love and affection. That's all. So again, he gave a very simple solution. Yat karoshi yat yachnami, yat jugoshi tadasiyate, yat tat tapasyasi kaunteye, tat kurusha madarpanam. Do it as an offering to me. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give as dana, whatever you are doing as penance, everything, ultimately use it madarpanam. That means you just use it, just offer it to me. Once you do that, you will be completely relieved from the bondage of this karmas, both the punyas as well as the papas, and then ultimately you will get liberated and coming to me. So then he said, Samoham sarva bhuteshu namedveshu asti na priyaham ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapi. That means I'm equally present in all of them, but then a person who worships me with bhakti, that person is very dear to me, and then he is also my friend. I am also his friend. That's what his friend. So a person who has been all along doing this papa karmas, but ultimately takes a resolve that he is going to follow the path of the bhakti, and then comes and surrenders to me and starts practicing it. That person is also said to be a sadhu, even though he has been doing all these papa karmas in this past, and very soon he becomes a righteous person, starts performing the dharmic acts, and then he attains the peace ultimately. So then Bhagavan gives that assurance, Name Bhakta Pranachit. That means my Bhakta never gets destroyed. Nowhere. That's what Bhagavan gives that great assurance. My Bhakta will never get destroyed. Then whosoever person who takes shelter in me, these people who don't have the right to learn Vedas, like this is the Striyaham, that is this late women, Vaishyas and Shudras, even those people, if they do this bhakti, and therefore they can ultimately reach me. That means Bhagavan is saying that the moksha is not exclusive right of a few clan or a few people who practice this Vedic chantings or anything like that. It's for everybody. It's a samanya dharma. Bhakti is a samanya dharma. Everybody can follow that. So if that is the case, then what about people who are like Arjuna, who are born in the Kshatriya family, you know about the Vedas, you got this knowledge. Ultimately, once you do that, definitely you will also reach me. Then finally he concludes by Manmanabhava Madbhakto Madhyach Mam Namaskarum Mameva Ishyasi Yuktevam Atmanam Madparayan. So Manmanabhava, that means always think about me, then become my devotee, worship me, then prostrate before me, then ultimately you will only reach me. That's what the assurance Bhagavan gives. Then we move on to chapter 10. Chapter 10, Bhagavan says, that is, I'm going to give you some more information about me, about some more knowledge about me, Arjuna. Please listen to it very carefully. No, neither the Devatas nor the Rishis understand me fully, because I was there right from the beginning, whereas these people came only in between, and therefore they don't know my full nature. That's what he says. I am the person who is unborn, who is the beginningless, who is the supreme lord of all those things. And then a person who knows like this, he gets completely relieved from this, all this samsara bandha, and ultimately reaches me. So Bhagavan says, everything is me: intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt, delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of senses, control of the mind, happiness, birth, death, fearlessness, everything. Ultimately, all these things come from me only. That's what he is again saying. This is the, this Vibhuti Yoga, which Bhagavan talks about his opulences and then his majesty. Even the Saptarishis, the Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, Sanatma, the four sages, Manus, all those things have been only born. They all come from me. And then that those people who know about my greatness start doing the devotional service to me. That is, they become a bhakta. There is absolutely no doubt on that. I am the source of all this entire universe, and everything arises from me. And then Matchita, Madgatam Puranaha, Bodhayanta Parasparam, Kadayantascha Mam Nityam, Tushyanti Cha Ramanti. So all these, my bhaktas always think about me, talk about me. In their group, they talk about my various gunas, leelas, and then enjoy that conversation. That's what it is. Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purum, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tum Yenamam. That means those kind of people who are ever engaged in my service or devotional service, I give them the Buddhi Yogam. That means I give them the right knowledge at the appropriate time, and then through that knowledge, they ultimately reach me. That's what Bhagavan says. Then I also reside in their hearts, and once they know that I am residing in their hearts, I start destroying all their ignorance as well as their karmas and their vasanas from their heart, and give them the through the knowledge, and through that knowledge they are able to ultimately reach me. Then ultimately Arjuna asked this question. He's saying that I understand all these rishis and Narada, everybody has talked about you, and you also said the same thing. So I want to know what are your great opulences? So I want to know. So from you, because you are the person, you only know about yourself, and therefore please tell me what is to be done. And then how do we constantly think about you? Because ultimately, when the last thought is only Bhagwan, they reach me, and therefore how do we think about you? And what are the various forms in which I can think about you? Then the Bhagwan starts saying that so many things. He's saying that, Ahamatma Gudaya Kesha Sarvabhuta Shayastitaha Atmadischa Madhyamcha Bhutatmana. That means I am the beginning, I am the end, everything. Then among the Adityas, I am Vishnu, I'm among the light bodies, I am the sun. I am among the Maruts, I am the Marichi, and then among the Nakshatras, I am the. So he goes on and on and on. He says ultimately, he says that Arjuna, whatever I have said about is only some portion of my opulences. My opulences are infinite. So there is that means there is no need to know the detailed knowledge about it. All that you need to do is I'm everything in this universe. I pervade this universe. That's how Krishna concludes with this chapter 10. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll take up chapter 11, which is this Vishwarupa Yoga. Vasudevasutam devam kamsa chanooramardhanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagadgurum sarvam Sri Krishna arpanamastu. Krishna 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 Krishna.